Something everybody can relate to.
Hey, look, check this out.
Check this out.
Check it out.
My mama never had shit.
Daddy didn't do nothing. Who can I turn to? Cocaine started hustling. My grandpa was a pimp.
Grammy used to hold for me.
When he started selling dope, my
Granny
granny
wrote
helped
the
to
blow for him. Hood niggas turned me out. Had me doing hella shit.
I dropped out of school.
Education was irrelevant.
High speed chases.
Never caught a dope case.
Backyard hood party.
Bullet missed my face.
I used to play ball.
Yeah.
They said I hit hard.
Hard.
Until my cousin Paul
Introduced me to hard.
And ever since then, a nigga been scarred. I'm running from the law or in the back of the car. You can't beat the system.
That's what they say.
Until they catch me.
I'ma beat it every day.
They gave my nigga Lil B
A four-way search clause.
so they can legally ramshack his house.
And check his drawers. What's happening, world? Just vibing for a sec. We get into the proceedings this evening.
Real shit, nigga. Just know through everything, man. You feel
Right.
me?
You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing you can't get out of. You feel me?
Nothing you can't get out of. You know what I'm saying? Happy ninth day of winter, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Deshaun. Here at Where Media Meets Studios, in conjunction with BJ TV, Farrell Films, History in the Making Entertainment,
Alright.
Keep It Cloudy Productions, you know. Oh, excuse me. It's the last Friday of 2022.
Like all Fridays, it's a good Friday, man.
Every Friday is a good Friday. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You know, as usual, my esteemed co-host with me.
Hey, what it do, man? It's your boy, man. Let me adjust that volume one time for the one time, man. And once again, man, it's always a treat when the players meet, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm just so happy to once more, man, be up in here, man. 2023, man, I'm really looking forward to it, man. 'Cause 2022, man, it was just some fuckery in it, man. But overall, you know, lost some loved ones, and you know, and some folks ain't doing it how they should. But overall, shit's still good, man. Like, what's that girl? The girl Glorilla dropped the album, and I felt the title. The title was Anyway, Life's Great.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the year, Drake dropped something, right?
Him and 21 Savage?
Well, no, the one he dropped before that, and it was. And the title was Honestly, Never Mind. And I was actually going through something with a loved one at the time, right? And that hit me, and I ended up texting them that. Honestly, never mind. And we still never, and we haven't spoke since. And I was a little down about that because, you know, I always say, you know, suckers be Microsoft, but I'm Macintosh with a hard drive.
Now we'll double click your icons.
I let bygones be. Oh, you know it. I got a hip hop head in there with me tonight.
You know what I'm saying?
But underneath it all, though, sometimes that's why I always like to stay around my loved ones, because I'm one of them cats that when I get alone, my thoughts get to swirling, and I get to thinking about things and all kinds of things. That's why I be having to stay active.
You gotta stay active.
So I wrote them off, but in my mind, though, still every now and then, I'd be like, man, maybe I should have just went ahead on and compromised or whatever. But then on the other hand, shit, kids make mistakes, adults make decisions.
You're right.
You know?
People only know what they know.
Right.
And you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Like you always say, conversation run the nation.
Procrastination is a violation. Give me my money, bitch. No, I'm just playing.
But I think lightweight at this stage of the game, though, man, and us, especially here in the Bay Area, man, we a little bit say more game type than say some cats that might have grew up in Boise, Idaho, or Omaha, Nebraska. It's like, man, you got to hold cats to a little higher standard.
True.
Like if a cat get off the Greyhound from Meridian, Mississippi, and he do something game goofy, I'm not gonna hold it against him. You know what I'm saying? But you know, y'all know. Hey, man, in the building, Mark Anthony in the building.
Yeah. No,
The only man who knows more about sports than me. Hey, Ram is in the house. Happy New Year, good brother.
Same to you, my brother.
It's the
What's up?
ninth day of winter. New Year's in the spring. But so it's been a crazy ass year.
Man.
We had a lot of shit happen from January 1st to now.
Right.
You know, like yesterday was 1 year that my cousin Obiaji passed.
Rest in peace.
That's why we was listening to that when we started. You know, I always pay homage to Cuzzo.
Hey, Slim P is in the comments.
It's always gonna be selfishness, you know.
That's my player partner.
What's up, Slim?
Slim is a player from the Himalayas, man. That's my homie from Wyoming, man.
Yeah, so you know, it's been an interesting year just for me personally, from yesterday 2021 to yesterday 2022. You know, it's been a real interesting year. You know, and I tripped off of it, was like, damn, it's been a year my nigga gone. And ain't been able to talk to him, ain't been able to smoke with him, ain't been able to do nothing with him in the physical. In the mental, we do that shit always though. But it's just a trip when you really sit back and think about time.
But it's a blessing that you had that time together and those moments together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let that be a lesson to y'all, man. Cherish your folks, man. And when people want to take pictures and do all that type of shit, man, go on and participate, because there's going to come a day when all you have of them is a picture.
Yeah.
And there's also going to come a day when all people have of you is a picture. So go ahead on, man. Get off the bench, man. Get the chip off your shoulder, man. And go on and live this thing, man, this life thing. Because, man, I got some bad news for y'all. None of us is getting out this shit alive. So while we in it, let's enjoy it, man. And, man, to Biaggi and all them who ain't here, man.
To Cuzzo. Yeah. To everyone that lost someone.
We all lost somebody.
Everybody lost somebody they know and love. You know, we're going to keep doing it for them. They doing their ancestral work for us now.
Somebody I know passed today.
Damn.
Who passed?
Damn.
Folks from back in the day that I know for many, many years I grew up with.
One thing my dad told me is, and he taught me this early, because you wonder where I get my ism from. You know, get it from pops. Girls get it from their mama, but, you know, we get it from my dad, our fathers.
Or a father
He told
figure.
me, but handle your business in life,
Someone should have a dad.
because you're going to be dead a whole lot longer than you'll ever be alive.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And that's real.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, we don't know the time nor the hour. You know, Christmas Eve, I was calling myself chilling, and we get a frantic phone call from one of the homies that's out in Texas saying, hey, they saying something just happened to my brother on 102nd. Can you go over there? And we know we schooled on over there, but by the time we get over there, they're putting the tarp over on Christmas Eve with his kids in the car.
Wow.
You know, they shot the car. You know, thank the Lord, none of the kids got hit, but they shot the car
Right.
with him and his kids right there at the gas station. So also, if you're in the town, that gas station on the 102nd and International.
Oh yeah.
This is the third person that I've known on a somewhat at least familiar with in the last couple of years who's gotten killed at that.
Oh
gas
no,
station.
I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the
Yeah, right there by Abe's Liquor. So
Yeah.
man, just if you go there and you're getting gas, just be cautious. Keep your head on the swivel. If somebody wanna buck with you or talk some type of crazy talk, let them have that. Get in your car and drive off.
Deuces.
It ain't worth it, cause you got a lot of crash out dummies out there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, kill a man in front of his kids on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, that's kind
When
of
they was headed to grandma's house to open up
That's-
Christmas presents, it's just like, man, you a new type of.
That's some ill shit.
And he said, I don't want no problems. I got my kids in the car, and they said, cool. Still went and got the thing, and came back.
In an attempt to rob him, or like?
No, they had a prior
Previous,
confrontation
gotcha.
about something, saying, what's up now, partner? Hey, I don't want no problem. I got my kids in the car.
Damn.
So they said, we respect that. Walked off, he thinking it's good. And they come back and, you know, Christmas Eve in front of your kids, man. I mean, no time's a good time to go. But I just say all that to say, when you're out here, it's a lot of people with no soul. They demonic, so Don't argue with them. Don't get in no confrontation. Let that shit go.
I need to make a quick point. You make a very good point, actually, because you know the town is pretty much Thunderdome now.
Oh yeah, it
And
is.
there ain't no like the police don't do nothing,
They don't
right?
give
They
a
don't pull
shit.
nobody over for nothing. Everybody know it.
Yeah.
So if they know it. That means they carry whatever they want, do
I
whatever
seen
they want to
motherfuckers
do.
run red lights in front of the police.
Oh yeah, I done seen them come through
Yes,
on
it-
4-wheel boom buggies in the bus lane, knocking next to
Boy,
the
drop the
police.
Thunderdome, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
No, it's
It's
real.
all bad.
They saying they ain't pulling you over for
For nothing.
not signaling. They not pulling
They
you over
want
for
to know who
bad
you
tags.
are. They want to know who you
Someone told
are.
me that.
They want to know who you are, each and every person.
See, I remember
They
getting
ain't giving
pulled
a
over
fuck.
for bad tags and handcuffed to the bumper and the
Yeah,
whole
it's all-
car getting tossed like every other week.
And they put more
Right.
focus on
You know?
sideshows than this shit.
In Oakland, I don't think they put no focus on nothing. I'm sorry, I'm keeping it real.
Because right now
I don't
tonight,
think-
on my way home over
They
by
need
the
them
sports
housing
page,
prices. They need
at
the
that
property
AMPM
value to
right
go
there,
down so they can
there's
keep
going to
niggas
be a
out.
sideshow that's
And
going to
then it's gonna
happen,
go
and
up.
it's going to last for about 3
Keep that
Until they
to
get
4
tired.
hours.
Until they get tired and go home.
I mean, tires go bald.
There's no enforcement or nothing, Chico. I'm
It's
telling
been-
you, town.
Well, they talking about using
It's been a.
drones
For what?
to crack that. Just
That's
Oh, you talking about
target
Frisco?
practice.
That's in Frisco. That's
That's
Frisco.
target
Motherfuckers
practice in
playing,
town.
doing Black Mirror. I tell niggas when
Just-
that movie when the series Black Mirror, that episode, that shit was out there with the robot dogs and all that shit. Nigga, that shit coming.
Yeah.
Like nigga, that shit coming.
I know
That's
what
what
you
they
mean.
was doing
They
out
do that
in,
in Hunters Point, Northridge, where they
Yeah,
be
they don't
beefing
send the
with
dogs in. Why
gangbangers.
send somebody?
Cops
seen
don't
it.
come up there.
I seen it
Shit,
in
the robot
They
Lathrop.
hear
dogs.
that, they'll go get a donut first.
Bobo.
I think it's Lathrop or whatever, but what
For
they
real.
do is when the sideshow gone, they send the drones in. The drone takes pictures of everybody's license plate.
Yeah,
just
and
send
then
You get the ticket in the mail.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
Well, I happen to have been to a few sideshows in my
Yeah.
life.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They was gonna give us a lot more than a ticket.
Yeah.
They was towing everybody at one point.
Yeah, they
On
did that
30 days.
recently.
He say everybody.
They did
Hey, I feel put my boy Monte on blast. My boy Monte is the only man to get a sideshow ticket and not be in his car. We were standing in front of Ben's Burgers and the cops walked up. Say, hey, how you doing? He said, he asked my boy, where you parked at?
Yeah.
My boy said, I'm parked across the street, thinking that they saying, get in your car and go.
Right.
So because he was watching the sideshow and his car was over there, they gave him a sideshow participant ticket.
Oh, that was nice.
$510.
Oh no, that was not.
But I'm saying my man Monte is the only man. You remember Monte, Mark?
Yo.
My boy Monte White is the only man to get a sideshow ticket, not in a car.
That's wild.
Fucked up.
I got told 3 times.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's been.
Twice in the Hummer.
I'm trying to think. What?
Didn't they drive off
They
in the
drove
Hummer?
both times.
Yeah, they ain't
No,
even
they don't
told.
say that shit. They
Ram,
drove off.
get in the show.
I know, I'm good.
I never seen you in the show.
I've been on once.
He's been on.
I thought you were on more than one.
I talked some shit in the
Yeah.
sideline 3 or 4 times.
So, I mean, this year's been a lot of shit. You know, you got my Raiders play the Winers Sunday.
Ooh. Jimmy G's on the way, by the way.
Hey, they dogging the boy Derek Carr though.
Fuck that.
I ain't even ready to
No.
say they dogging the
Nah,
boy.
he sucks. He
I
sucks.
ain't dogging
I call him
Shit
Derek
is
Farr.
what it is.
It's Derek
I'm
Farr.
a Raider fan, but I'm a realist.
But
Derek
the
Farr.
thing is if he happens to get hurt, they got paid $40 million. So they actually take it.
Mark
like
my words.
they made him so
Jimmy G-
inactive, he
Jimmy
can't
G
even
will
have
be
a
your guy
jersey
quarterback.
on the sideline. Like
Jimmy
if
G's
he
gonna
comes
bring you
out
guys
with
to
the
first round
team,
of the playoffs 'cause he's
he
gonna
got to
be
wear
pissed.
like a suit
Watch.
and
He's
tie.
gonna make his way to Vegas and be heated.
Fortunately, I don't
Watch.
care who wins. So.
Jimmy G. I bet you Jimmy G ended
No.
up in Oakland heated.
No,
Heated.
no.
Why would he be heated?
Because Purdy's taking us to the Super Bowl. Watch.
You think that
I
It
don't
might
think so.
happen. There's not enough tape
might
on it.
happen?
There's not enough- there's
Well,
not
we
enough
talking
tape
about
on
might
it.
happen. Maybe they might sign an unprecedented free agent contract with me, and I take you to the Super Bowl. That might
There's
happen.
not enough tape on it. He might go all the way.
And a man who's barely in the league was the third quarterback on the Niners, the third inactive on some games. Is
All right. I don't give a fuck. Cranberry and butterscotch. Fuck them.
Mark.
I said it.
Mark,
It is what it is.
tell him to stop.
It's not happening. Anyway, I'm trying to think all the shit that's been happening this year. I mean, it's been a lot of shit. We got
Hey,
melanated. What's up, Miss Pringle? Hey, sis. We got black. I'm gonna use black for y'all. You know how I am about black, but I'm gonna just use it tonight. Black Supreme Court justice.
Man,
The
really
sister
to tell
down
the truth, man, I know it's all rigged
Yeah.
up, But Jesus Christ, man, if the politics was how they supposed to be, that man would resign, or they would even, and you can impeach Supreme Court justices. This man was obviously ain't been recusing himself from cases that his wife was actively involved in. That's a conflict of interest on several levels. That man really should step down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But hey,
got,
Clarence Thomas. Hey, back down.
Hey, y'all in the front. Thank you.
The cold part about what a lot of people don't understand, though, is that when it comes to what they call self-hating, Clarence Thomas is one of the greatest of all time. This man literally got into school through affirmative action. That's how he got into Yale. And then has spent his entire legal career trying to undermine affirmative action.
Exactly.
And that's wildly bananas to me.
Nigga, it's like niggas get the golden ticket, the Willy Wonka, then he wanted just like no more golden tickets.
Somebody threw a rope.
I will be the last.
Someone threw a rope down for him, and the first thing he did when he climbed up, exactly.
It's niggas. He's a nigga.
I mean, that's awful though.
Y'all just think that Clarence Thomas ain't a nigga. He showed you he's a nigga.
I mean, he did all the nigga moves. We got him a fat white bitch. And sits around hating on other black people.
Got him a bag of marshmallows.
That's a South Carolina nigga for you. They're a different breed than us.
Got him a bag of marshmallows and was like, fuck it. I'm good. I won.
Speaking of down south niggas, man, Deion Sanders pissed them off some more this week, or are they off Deion right now?
I don't have Twitter like you, so I don't really be into what everybody really doing. I kind of taper myself back from a lot of the bullshit because it's all distractions, you know.
Ed Reed just took a job at HBCU.
Oh yeah, Ed Reed. Yeah, Ed Reed just signed with
one of the greatest safeties of all time.
Yeah, shout out to Ed Reed. Black excellence. That's a good thing. I mean, I think just the whole Deion situation. Looking at it from, me, I'm the old, remember the old white dudes on the Muppet Show in the balcony talking shit? That's me. You know what I'm saying? I sit up in the balcony. You know what I'm saying? In my executive seats with my cheesy glasses, and I see what's going on down below. But looking at that, the exposure Deion gave to HBCUs was great.
Tremendous.
Yeah. So I think the needle moves some. Definitely moves some. It'll never move, I don't believe, in my lifetime where it needs to move to. I will say that. But I think he sparked the brain.
Yeah, Tupac.
That's what I was going to say. Deion is the Tupac of black coaches.
And one thing though about Deion though, and the tangible effect though, is that they had estimated that due to the increased attendance in the games and the increased amount of people who came in for the parties for the weekend to come just be in the atmosphere, and in the 2.5 years he was there, the city of Jackson itself generated close to $30 million in revenue.
And it would have took them 400 years to generate that on their own.
Because Jackson is, while it's a beautiful city, and I've told the story before, I went to Jackson, and from the time and the way Jackson is set up, it's not spread out like here. Like in Oakland, you could keep going this way, you in San Leandro, you over here, you in Berkeley, Emeryville, Jackson is intentionally isolated. So you damn near gotta go over little overpasses into the city. So when you're in Jackson, you're not like, I'm in Emeryville, or I'm in Berkeley, or I'm in San Leandro right here, or I'm in...
You're only in Jackson.
Exactly. So if you lived in Mississippi, you could live because the rural and the outskirts is all white. You could actually never go into Jackson. You're not even, because the way the freeway is set up, you're not even gonna go in there for gas. So no outside money, none of the suburb money, none of that comes into Jackson. Jackson is completely self-sufficient, and that's not an accident. They just like how they don't have it where you could just easily go into Jackson, you also can't easily go out of Jackson.
Right.
So for someone to come, it's not a tourist spot. So for someone to come and bring in $30 million in tourist revenue to this city is an amazing thing.
And on top of that, that's why he got offered the money he got offered to go somewhere else, because they didn't want to keep that happening. You get that at 3 in the morning.
No, if you in Mississippi,
Think about it.
if you in Mississippi,
Think about it.
you might even call another governor of Colorado and say, "Hey man, tell the people at the university over there to make dude an offer," because the last thing, because Mississippi,
Fucking up the church's money.
like Jackson is the biggest city in Mississippi,
We want
and
it
it's
to
all
be-
Democrat, right?
We want it to be. We
But
want
the
it to
whole
be downtrodden.
state-
This nigga's giving niggas hope.
But the whole
You know what I'm
state
saying?
is Republican. What's up, Ed?
All right,
You see what I'm saying?
Y'all
So the
shooting? Or y'all just having fun?
no, we shoot.
No, we're live.
So the last thing that you want to do in the state of Mississippi, if
Yeah.
you're the governor of Mississippi, is for a place like Jackson to not only get political power, but to also have economic power.
Exactly.
You
That would
that's
have
something
been
you
the
do not
equivalent
want.
of reparations if it would have continued for 10 years. Just think if Dion would have been there for 10 years, the
Save the seat
revenue
for you.
and whatnot that would have transpired, and money that would have changed hands in that community. Just think about it.
We got a special guest in the building to give us a
Hey,
woman's point of view. How do y'all feel? What we talking about right now is how this Deion Sanders thing with leaving Jackson State and the obligation to HBCUs.
We're doing a year in review and we're just going over the major.
How do you feel about all that? And was Deion right to take the bag, or did he have an obligation to his brothers and sisters to stick it out there in Jackson?
I thought he was out there for like a couple of years, wasn't he?
It was a couple years, but people thought he was going to be there for
Is
a
that what his-
decade.
Is that what his contract said? Because that's not what he alluded to. But I think that he brought if he didn't bring enough inventory and money coming into that school site, and they didn't extend him with a proper contract to be
Well, that's the thing. He did bring a tremendous amount of revenue, but they still saying that they didn't have the resources to give him what the white school gave him. And some people are saying that since he's already a wealthy man, he should have been, because at some point we're going to have to sacrifice in order to build up black institutions.
Well, why is he the
that-
only one that should be able to do so? I mean, he started the leeway for it, so shouldn't there be someone else that follows up behind him, stuff like that? And they knew who they were dealing with. That was money made, the NFL player that was on the rap team, doing his I'm made of money. What was his song? Like, I'm all about
Must be the money.
It must be the money.
Must be the money.
I was bitching him to be in video.
Okay.
But it's like, so I think you should know who he was when he was in there. And plus, didn't he have like an injury to his feet or something like that? He had
He got diabetes. So
Well, okay,
yeah,
so
couple of toes cut off.
okay, well, you know what I'm saying. So I think that he shouldn't be just the first. I think that he should be a lead way in for other
Pass the baton.
pass the baton and other pro athletes to come into HBCUs and make sure that they're adequately paid for their 2 years, 5 years or whatever, and to keep it rolling that way. But it doesn't mean that he'll never come back. It's just saying that at this time he did his 2. He's gonna do 5 at the next one to come back. I mean, he's still alive, so give him some
Now,
time.
so I feel your point from an economic point of view. What about, some people are saying from a legacy point of view, like it means, like if he wins a national championship in Colorado, they've already won national championships before. It's been a long time.
She adds comment.
Do we have an obligation as black people that when we get in certain spaces that we need to sacrifice the bag in order to build a legacy or keep the door open for others? Do we have an obligation as black people to make these noble sacrifices, or should we always do what's best for us?
Well, did the HBCU make a noble sacrifice with their allocations of funds? Because he said it wasn't enough. So is that on him or is that on the school? I mean, is
Well,
all
they said
of
they
it
just
on-
weren't capable of matching the money.
Well, then
I
it
think
is-
he was getting paid $300,000 a year at Jackson, and I think Colorado's going to pay him $5 million a year. But some people are saying he was already wealthy, so money shouldn't be a motivator for him.
I don't know. He likes pretty women and a whole lot of stuff. He might not be as wealthy as we think. You know what I'm saying? He got 7, 8, 9 kids. That he claims.
She said 7, 8, 9.
I don't know. Like you
Yeah,
said,
she just had. I mean, man.
I don't
Now
know.
we talking about Deion, not Nick Cannon.
You know.
Who, by the way, congratulations to Nick
Congratulations,
Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
He just had his 12th baby yesterday.
Baby, baby,
I gotta
mamas.
catch up.
He had 12th baby yesterday,
How
and
many
apparently there's 2 other women that's pregnant.
How
So
many baby mamas off the 12 pack?
I think 6.
6?
Because a couple of them he's got twins
You
with.
know, Mariah Carey got twins.
But he got some twins with another one too.
Yeah.
And then on another one he doubled back. But
Jeez.
yeah, shout out to Nick Cannon.
Jeez. He has as many kids as eggs are in a carton.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick Cannon.
Beers in the
Be
12
fruitful and
Mike?
multiply. But fuck Akon for the
So,
dumb
man.
shit that he said.
Oh yeah, that motherfucker. Yeah, his motherfuckers. Hey, do you know something? It's always.
What did Akon say?
He said some bullshit about
I don't like Akon either.
Africans are better prepared on stage
Mhm,
performance
better
than
performance.
African Americans.
I'm
First
still-
off, there's no such thing as African Americans.
I'm still
When
waiting
you
for the African
niggas
Janet Jackson.
Stop calling yourself African American because you don't hear white people say white Americans.
First
they just
of all,
call
never
themselves
trust a nigga
Americans.
with yellow eyeballs.
Oh,
That means jaundice. Nigga, the liver is gone. You got cirrhosis of the liver.
You want to hear the whopper though? Akon grew up in St. Louis. He was born in St. Louis. He might have African parents, but he ain't even really African.
But that's where his home is. That's where he's accepted, and that's where he's the man.
No, I think the reason why he was
Niggas
able
get
to do
sold
so
a
much is because
dream.
we went out and bought that locked
Exactly.
up Black Americans. That man sat there with a line and a taper, some Black American shit, made Black American music, made a whole bunch of money, and then
He
leans
got
back
some
in
built
his
out there.
chair
He got
and
like a
says,
city built.
"Black Americans ain't all that."
He got like a city built. He did some big shit.
No, it kind
Let me-
of done something.
let me-
No, but China
no,
is
let me
backing him. I
clarify.
think it was some
Let me
shit.
clarify.
It's
Anybody
something-
out there want to double check?
Yeah.
Akon City is 100% scam. It's
Ooh.
100% fraud.
Oh.
They ain't bought 1 acre of land. They ain't nailed up nothing. But what he has done is he's funneled Chinese money
Yeah.
to leaders of certain parts. Just like that when he made that big thing. I remember there used to be these memes going around how Akon was gonna bring lights
Yeah.
to Africa, this and that. And
I remember that
look
shit.
at Jay-Z and this one and that one. Well,
Another
you can go
divisive
actually.
plan.
Well, you can go actually find the wells when Jay-Z brought water to Africa. You can actually go find the wells that Jay-Z built, and he's not even from Africa. You cannot find a single light bulb anywhere in Africa that was lit by solar power provided by Akon because it was 100% scam. They pocketed the money. Any immigrant who gets to talking about you Black Americans need to come support this and takes our money like Wyclef, Akon,
Ooh.
I promise you,
That nigga said
it's a
Wyclef.
scam because immigrants, unfortunately,
Bootleg shit.
they are slicker than us because they know that we look at them and be like, ooh, we all black. Ooh, yay, we all black. And they take advantage of that because they will look at us and be like, oh, you ain't black like me. Oh, in fact, I'm not
You
even
don't
black.
suffer
I'm
what I
Dominican.
suffer.
I'm not black. I'm Nigerian.
A lot of people down
I'm not
south
that.
say if your
And in
mama's
fact,
not
I
black,
have
they don't consider you black.
a lot of Africans, and I don't want to typecast all my brothers,
Don't
this
do
and that.
Don't do that.
But there is a lot of Africans, especially from the West Africa, like the Nigerians and Senegal and places like that, who would have no problem with scamming your grandmother out of her Social Security
Oh yeah.
and laugh about it.
each
Like
race-
scamming is a
sending me
cool
all
way
these
of life.
fucking inboxes.
Each race is the most
Hi,
violent-
handsome. And I'd be like,
Listen,
get the
dude.
fuck out of my inbox.
Right.
Black on black violence is big. Chinese on Chinese violence is big. Most races.
Violence is violence.
Violence
Yeah.
is violence. Most of your violence
Don't
comes
talk,
from
be
your
on
own
camera.
race.
Yeah,
No matter
because
who
the
you are.
most violence is due to proximity. So black
Yes.
on black crime is a myth.
Yeah.
So whenever one of you niggas get to, anytime somebody,
Crime
a
is
rapper
crime.
dies and somebody says, oh, we got to do better. I'll be like, nigga, where's my
Who you
shoes
think more
so you
people
can
in jail,
shine
white
them?
people or black
Because how do
people?
we got to do, if some rapper gets killed tonight, unfortunately somewhere, who's
Crime-
participating in a particular lifestyle, we don't need
I
to
heard
do
more
better.
white people are in jail than black people overall. Do you believe that?
It's
Well,
true.
It's true.
Crime happens in the proximity of your environment where
Yeah,
you live.
percentage
So if you
is
live
very
around a
black,
bunch of
black,
niggas,
black.
your crime is going to be around
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
niggas.
But
overall,
So the proximity of where you are, and for the criminals, is what happens.
Yeah.
You don't really see criminals driving 300, 400, 500 miles to go do some shit and drive back.
I'm not
That's
going to
a-
drive the Modesto.
That's
to
a
rob somebody.
long time to be driving back and you can get caught. I mean, you have to think about it. Crime only happens with opportunity. For a crime to happen, there has to be opportunity. So if there's no opportunity, there's no crime.
I'm going to tell y'all what's a moral crime, though. It's like, let's say you have a hit single.
Oh, I do.
Okay, but let's say you're draped out, you got the ice on, this and that, and I know that you've been heavy as a performer, from the gate. But let's say you got all these things going on, right?
Right.
And they tell me tomorrow that you got shot on 76 in MacArthur.
Damn, already.
I'm going to say it's unfortunate you got shot and sadness, but why the fuck was you there knowing that your social status and your obvious wealth and fame? So, like we say, a lot of crime is due to convenience, but there's sometimes that and don't get me wrong, I'm not victim blaming on no level.
Yeah.
I'm not victim blaming on no level,
No.
but some of these people, high profile people who have gotten killed recently have been some poor decision making.
What example?
Well, I mean,
is an example?
I would say like that. If that was me, it's just like, I'm from
What's an
here, you know what I'm
example?
saying? If I'm on 76 in MacArthur, I'm on 76 in MacArthur. You know what I'm saying? That means I got people there, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a safe haven with life. Now, I already know that 76 in MacArthur, things pop off. That just wouldn't be just because I was there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that kind of, things just pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm from is ghost town. I know things just pop off. It's not because anytime day or night. It's just because things pop off.
But if you're extremely wealthy, it would be, it increases.
I would still go, like, people say go back to the hood or whatever like that. I'm a chameleon. You would never see me coming. If I wanted you to see me, you would see me. If you don't, you don't. But I would still go down there to see people. You know what I'm saying?
Because then if you don't, then people will be,
what's up, Lamar?
People will be, oh man, they don't never come back and see us. So it's a double-edged sword. So, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
I think it's just how you come back.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? It's how you can come back to see folks.
And for one, I mean, regardless of how good-hearted anybody is, you're always gonna have haters. Haters will always exist. Haters will always be out there. Haters will always.
Well, where else you gonna get your motivation from?
Exactly. I use that shit.
You have to recycle.
I eat that shit like cereal in the morning.
Motivation.
Get it in the morning. Get my cereal hater juice. Ooh.
Okay, can we go back to the Akon thing? It's just like, what did you think about his comments about black fatherhood?
I thought that was preposterously silly.
What did he say?
He was basically saying that, he was relating to Nick Cannon and saying that, Nick Cannon can have all these children and everything like that because he financially, supports them, and that's all he needs. It's a white man. It's a white man thing to be like at recitals and stuff.
Something I didn't
to be there for all that stuff. He financially pays for them. The women are paid for, in a sense. And he's doing what he needs to do as a father. He's just like, that's a black man thing. He's like, that's a white man thing. That has nothing to do with what we do. And he was just like, our principles.
You gotta remember
that shows you how he cosplays as a black man, because when a person cosplays as a black person, they usually attribute all the worst stereotypes of being black, and then that's what they embody.
That's that contract he signed that y'all don't know about. He has to do those things.
So to embrace that level of toxic masculinity is foolishness.
Stop giving stupid niggas money.
Because I grew up in a house with a man who basically felt like I paid the roof. Everything else there. So when he came in, everybody had to be completely silent. No noise, because he don't want to hear no noise. We sit at the dinner table, Blood sit in the living room in his chair, eat his dinner, and then suddenly I'm gonna go shoot pool, whatever. Really, he's gonna go see another bitch.
Oh.
But the lady of the house, he paid all the bills. She can't say nothing. Blood Blood did his thing, and he
multiple
with
women is a rich man's game.
But the thing is that
the
thing is that the males in our family, me included, we were so desperate for dude's attention, for anything from him, that we would sometimes do things to even just piss him off, just to get a reaction from him, because we wanted that attention. Yeah. But let me tell you something about, I don't know what it's like in the streets in 2022, but in the streets when I was growing up, and you looking for a father, you looking for a daddy, and daddy ain't got no time for you, there is some cats who always had time for me.
Yeah.
But I also had to yell police, yell rollers when the cops is coming. Here, take this. Bring me back 15. Bring me back 85. You keep the 15. There was always, the only cats, when you grow up in certain environments, the only cats that got time for you is the cats that's up to no good. The working men is too busy, or they doing their thing, they working side chicks. But I'm just saying though, is that he was so aloof, and he felt as long as he paid the bills, literally,
I don't need to do nothing else.
right? And that's that Akon thing.
And them
I'm
be the
the
same
man.
type of dudes
I ain't got to go to no dance recital. I ain't got to go to no game.
But them be the
Nigga,
same
we gave my
dudes.
right arm for dude to show up at the game.
But them be the same dudes who chick beat got a work boo and be doing other shit because all he do was pay the bills.
Well, this was an era where they didn't even get to go outside and work. That was their job was to.
That's why the
make
milkman-
breakfast in the morning and have his.
But you had the milkman, the maintenance man, the mailman. Hey man, fair exchange ain't no robbery.
But
Yeah.
that was a foolish. But
I'm just
Akon's
saying.
point was foolish,
Well,
and
fuck
me
Akon.
and me and the cold part about it is that when I first started having kids,
Like I said, stop
that
giving
was
dumb
my
niggas money.
that was my only example. So I would literally be on that, like, oh, we having a birthday party for so and so. Shit,
Yeah.
I'm paying for the shit. You don't need me to be there.
See, that's some dumb
Oh, we had to take the baby to the doctor. You need to go to the hospital. Oh, what the fuck? Everybody gonna get better if I suddenly show up?
shit. That's some.
No, I mean, I've grown,
I hear
I
you.
grew, but I mean, I'm just saying though is that
I ain't with that.
when I came into becoming a father, the only examples I had was dudes of,
Yeah.
hey, don't bother me with that shit. Just tell me how much the shit costs and leave me the fuck alone. Or niggas was like, I never saw my father. I never met him. So so fathers was either absent or they was hella standoffish in the loop. So of course, when I started having kids, hey, just tell me how much the shit costs. No, I ain't coming to no birthday parties. I ain't coming to none of that shit. What the fuck you need me there for? Sitting around grinning. Y'all all gonna be sitting. I really believe that. And I was surrounded by a bunch of partners who was raised to also believe that. And now I see better. So to see Akon in this modern era where people are more wiser and smarter
Fuck Akon.
to repeat that dumb shit.
Yeah, Akon.
Akon is what? Akon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Nigga
man.
named himself right. Akon, man. Y'all.
That's great.
The
But
truth-
Every time I
The-
hear the
the
hook
truth-
on the track, I skip it.
Men that
Tell
embrace
the truth
those
all
points
the
of
time.
views like Akon. How do you feel about that?
Well, he was just spitting nonsense completely. It didn't make any sense for comparison how the real that he got from his family. It didn't make any sense how
They
he
talk
would
Akon
perpetuate
and
that.
look
So,
up this chick.
yeah, I didn't agree with that at all because, you can spit your seed for, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 kids. It doesn't matter, what I'm saying, if you financially pay for them,
She
which
be
you should be
climbing a
doing
ladder,
anyway. But you should also be there for the nourishment and the nurturing of the child in each and every one because all kids are different. They don't all require the same
Cannon
thing. It's
don't
not
wear
Yes.
Nick Cannon
It's a
coming
back
out
in
with,
the box,
I bet
so-
you for 2023, Nick Cannon coming out with his own brand of rubbers.
Why they don't work good, very good.
He already did that.
They don't. Hey,
He coming out
why
with his own
they
brand of
obviously
rubbers.
don't work very good. I
Right.
wouldn't use one.
They invisible. They'll never see you coming.
I mean, I just find it very interesting, that there's a lot of children, what I'm saying, in there, and
Keisha-
even the younger ones are like, about preschool age, they need folks to be
She's
there.
asking what's the topic. We just going through the year in review. We just talking about whatever stuff from this year that happened.
Akon
Right now,
and Akon.
we talking about the Black Beetle. Right now, I'm tired of talking about the Black Beetle.
I've seen some think pieces though that say that for Nick Cannon to be having this many children, I think he's had like 9 within the last 2 years. That some people are saying that maybe this is a form of some type of mental illness or something.
Yeah, he you know what?
No.
Think about how long he's been in the game. Nickelodeon, all the other shit, Mariah Carey, the
Fantasy,
Eminem
you-
beef.
He got money.
His mind is
He wants to.
his mind is warped.
Hold on. Let me tell
His
you
mind
something.
is warped.
Let me tell you something right
That
now.
Jewish comment to me.
Hold on. Listen.
His mind is warped. He's a baby Kanye.
Back in the good old days, like the days you was talking about, when Grandpa, Paul, whoever the fuck the
Good old
motherfucker who
days.
paid the bills,
No, Lamar, you can't get more time.
went and got had 11, 12, 13, 14 kids. Remember them days Big Mama had 16 kids.
Right.
There's no birth control.
Right.
But there's a
But
but.
listen, let me finish.
There's a but to
Let
that.
me finish.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the way of life. If you have 16 kids, 4 of them at a minimum, gonna be super successful. Another 5 gonna be okay. You may have 3 or 4 that truly be fucked up.
And what
It's a numbers game. Life is numbers, and if you don't know that, the odds are against
But
you.
there's a difference. 16 kids or 12 kids or 13 kids under one roof, moving together as one unit. I know you're my sister. I know you're my brother. This is our mother, father. We have some sense, even if we dirt poor, we have some sense of structure and family. It's a whole lot different than 16 kids all over town.
I get
Some
that.
not even acknowledged, this, that, you know. Like, for instance, I'm on Ancestry.com, right?
Oh, no.
Right now, I'm getting new siblings.
Okay.
I even got one sibling that just
Whole
popped
lot
up
fucking
that we
going
never heard of. That's only 11 months older than me. Like, we're not even a full year
I thought
apart.
you were gonna say 11 months old. I was gonna be like, damn.
Still
But,
cranking them out.
but I mean, that just goes to show, though, that, and this was on my mother's side. My mother literally had her in October and then had me in September the next year, which meant my mother had her in October and had to be pregnant again by December.
Hey, she was waiting that 6 weeks.
And the cold part about it is we did some investigating because she didn't know who her father was either. The man on my birth certificate is not my father. My mother was moving me.
Okay.
But the man on my birth certificate ended up being her father.
Okay.
You know, just wild.
Sometimes
thing.
that's how shit happens.
But the thing is that that's how kids
Yes.
having those big families of back in the day where there was some form of a structure
Yeah.
is a lot different than cats planting kids all over town.
Okay.
And people growing up and their actual siblings
Mm-hmm.
and only meet by chance as adults
Right.
or only have heard of each other or something. That's crazy. I was watching Paternity Court last night and there was a couple on there and they found out that they ended up not being, but at one point her mother had told the other girl's daddy, this might be your kid, but then they ended up, daddy was a Rolling Stone, but then as they grew up, they met and started dating, and they went to a family reunion together, and one of her aunts said, hey, young man, is your name so-and-so?
You look
Is
just
so-and-so
like
your
Charles, who
You
used
know
to
that?
date my sister
Bro,
back
you
in
know
the day.
that.
I
This
swear
might
you
be your
do.
daddy's.
I swear
This
you
might
do.
be your daddy's kid. And they had to come and they, they ended up doing DNA tests, so they wasn't siblings.
They wasn't.
They
Oh, and he was
wasn't
hitting it
siblings.
too. Ooh, that gotta be.
But the thing is, though, was that
ooh.
in her grandmother's photo album,
Break out the Libra 2000.
there was actually baby pictures of her boyfriend
Take a bath and
that
slap a
her
side of
mother
vinegar
had
after that. That's
sent.
just nasty.
But the only thing, her dude's name was Jeremiah.
Oh, Lord.
Her
Oh,
daddy
he's from
had
the deep
told
south.
her.
And his
Her daddy had
grandfather
told
named
her,
Hiawatha?
oh, I might got another son, his name is Jay. So they met a couple towns over, so she didn't never put together that this Jay, this possible brother that she had out there named Jay could be dude until when they got serious, he came and met the family, and her auntie was like, is your mama named so-and-so? Hey, girl, this might be your brother. But while anybody out there is laughing, hold on. It's cats running around the town. They got 14, 15 kids. It's this and that. There's a good possibility, at the very least, if you've been in Oakland all your life, you've dated a cousin. You might have dated a potential half-sibling, because there's a lot of cats out here who got all kinds of kids.
Hey,
They ain't
come on.
playing.
Hey,
Hey,
mama's
hey,
baby, daddy's
hey,
baby. Parked
no.
cars get hit.
Hey, come on. No off-record incest charts.
Ain't nobody holding water that long.
Hey.
Well, that took a turn.
God.
I mean, you
So-
know, but I'm just saying though, is that
Long
a
tangent.
cat like Nick Cannon, the things that he doing, sure, he got the money to take care of,
Yeah, he do.
but it's wildly
But he doesn't
irresponsible
have the
to have.
time.
It's
to
wildly
raise a
irresponsible.
problem.
Anthony,
to
I'm not fucking with you.
Spread that
Yeah,
much
talking
seed
shit.
around without, without building.
But
a
no, okay, so
structure.
first, so Nick Cannon's situation is this. One, Nick Cannon is actually sick. He has the sickness going on. So,
Yeah,
think
it's
about
baby
this.
mama syndrome.
No,
Right?
no, it's real shit. He's actually sick. So you think about this. He needs a donor. So let's think about it. Who do you create yourself from? I just told you create from yourself.
So
your best.
So you gonna breed some donor kids? Man, that's immoral.
That's what the fucking English people do. Why you think they fucking cousins and you got?
That's completely immoral.
No, they fucking each other. I'm talking about what Nick Cannon doing. Is smart.
That's immoral.
No, it's not.
You can't raise somebody to be a donor cow. Or you gonna just feed them in the back and feed them vitamins.
Whoa, guys, slow down.
Slow down. Answer the question. There's
from
nothing wrong with that.
It's the stem cells from the placenta.
Thank you.
That's what he's going after.
Thank you. There's nothing wrong with that. If he can provide for all those kids and he don't like to wear condoms.
But does he provide time-wise?
Or he's sending out samples.
But does he provide being
exactly?
No one said.
You're right.
The most valuable time of them all.
He could exactly. Hey, come on, wildin' out. I'll send you home with a care package.
Financially is one thing.
You get a free pop. Everybody gets a free pop.
So you creating a bunch of individuals that you are not going to be able to properly parent, just in case one of them can give you a kidney, and then. You creating actual human beings for no other reason than to basically be spare parts for you. And you can't be a father. Like, that's immoral.
No.
That's
also
immoral.
You have the fact that, like I said, he's financially able to do all that. And maybe with him realizing what's going on with him, this is all hypothetical.
Very hypothetical.
But I think, I don't know everything, but I know half of something.
Allegedly. It's all alleged.
Maybe he's just had an epiphany like, man, I love life. I love kids. Nothing wrong with that. If you can take care of it, same way a dude who has 50 women, 12 women, if he can take care of all them and provide for all them, the polyamorous environment, if they can do all that and that's for them, more power to them.
Hold on. At a certain point,
I don't give a shit.
I mean, it's easy to say I don't judge, but at a certain point, ethics and morals got to come into it.
But there's nothing morally wrong with that to me.
No, it is.
The women did agree.
But hold on, why
they wasn't saying no.
Why are they agreeing?
Are between 25 to 30-ish. They've known him for some time. These are all women who are willingly.
That's that Eurocentric slave master mentality where we exploit people. Cool. That's why you could go down in the South back in the days and you'd have white people, every day we don't need no integration, everything's cool. The black people they never complain, ain't no problem, because they know that there will be penalties if they complain. So if you play willfully obtuse and be like, hey, they agreed with it. But we know, like for instance, if I got 12 women, and 12 women are looking at me like, as if Jesus just opened up the sky and slid me down covered in baby oil, and all the women said, "Woo, this is what we've been asking for." That's one thing.
That's a vivid image.
But if you got 12 women who are financially poor, they're doing things, and the only way for them to be okay is to allow me to carry on my antics. How do we know that fits? No, I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, but
we live in the real world.
I know we do, but you can't put that on them because we don't know that.
We live in the real world. I mean, you can.
We still don't know Tory Shabbat.
But the bottom line though is that if you go along,
I don't follow them because I don't give a fuck.
But the bottom line is that if you go along, if a person goes
along, told y'all stop
with
giving stupid
things,
people money.
If they go along with certain things because they are desperate, you can sit back and be like, oh, they didn't complain. Oh, they have a choice. But if you know you are exploiting people, if you know that you are taking advantage of their weakness, if you know you are taking advantage of, the only way I can escape out of this desperate life is to tolerate his tomfoolery because he got money, then I know I'm exploiting. And if you're sitting there exploiting people, even under the guise of they ain't complain, that's just not right. It's just morally incorrect.
They all make over $100K, on
it's
their
morally
own,
incorrect
with their careers. So, and like I said, their age range is 25 to like 40.
That might not be the case. It could be just, hey, they got a vibe, it was cool, and hey, we got a kid. And he like, you know something? we laid down, so we gonna get down. It
Or
could
they
be
got-
that.
Or they got sperm
Nothing wrong with
packets
that
in there.
either.
Or they got sperm.
No, 'cause if you-
particles in
if you-
there. You know what I'm
if-
saying?
no,
no.
I think we're considering that everyone is
At
having
the
an
end of the
intimate
day, the
relationship,
man
and they may not be. They
is
just may
taking
be
care of
like
his seeds, so I can't knock him. Yeah, he get.
How are you taking care of 12 different households?
We not there, so we don't know. He don't have.
We got common sense. And we got
There's no
multiple
such
children
thing as
ourselves.
common sense. If
And we
sense
got
was-
multiple children
There's
ourselves.
no such
There's
thing as
no
common
such
sense. If
that.
sense was common,
No,
everybody would
I
have
know
it.
how you can financially take care of it
there's-
because I have multiple children, so I'm very well aware of how you can financially
Yeah, but we
take care
have
of
we
them.
have
But I also know
we
making
have
that
meager
money. Do
means.
you
We
know
don't
how many
have
ball
Nick Cannon
games
money.
I missed? How many recitals I missed? How many? Okay, this kid is going here, and this kid is across town over here.
Hey,
making
right,
those hard
Keish.
choices.
Okay, yeah, Keish
I
said the
guess
same
you could
thing.
send
I'm
it-
on the
you
same
could
thing.
send
It's
it
time
to-
for a new
You
topic.
could have sent an assistant or something like that. I think they'll make a card.
This is no different than
Walmart.
saying if you're a single man and a woman wants to get with you, right?
Huh.
And you say to you say to her, "Oh, I don't want nothing serious," right?
Okay.
And you keep telling her, "I don't want nothing serious," right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know that she hopes that eventually you will change your mind. Let me finish.
'Cause
Let
that's
me
what
finish.
women do.
Let me finish. But you know that.
Not all.
Hold
There are
on,
no
but you
absolutes.
know that.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
let me finish this point because this is
Go
very
ahead.
important to moralistic point of view.
Mhm.
If I know deep down you gonna hope that I change my mind, and you hang around, I'm really taking advantage of that because I know that I always have the escape card to say, "Oh, I told you from the beginning," but I know you. No, let me finish. But I know that you only let me do this because you hoping that you can eventually convince me otherwise. That means that I'm a predator and I'm exploiting you and I'm taking advantage, and that means I'm morally incorrect.
So is she morally corrupt for staying, knowing that it is, and knowing that
No,
she wants
that's
to
the
change
thing.
him?
Anytime
And
you
that's
play-
what the fuck
anytime
is
you
good for the
play-
goose is good for the
any-
gander. Fair exchange ain't no
No,
robbery.
hold on. That's
Put your
how-
cape away.
That's like how what Putin is doing in Ukraine and shit like
I
that.
don't give a fuck about Russia.
You
I
cannot.
think
If you
Nick
take
already
advantage
said-
of someone's feelings, or you take advantage
That's why you
of
tell
someone
people what the
hoping that
deal
you'll
is
do
from the
the
gate. Accept it or reject it, and if you neglect it, someone else will protect it.
I'm
Sorry.
like this.
Well, Nick
Next.
already said, and this, I'll just let's see the last thing about Nick and everything like that. He already said no other woman that he would ever marry would bring up his status more than Mariah Carey. So he's not going to marry anybody else. He's not going to do anything with anybody else in that status or like that. Everything else, he's just going to, procreate at this point. So he already said that he's not leading no one on. He's being very upfront and everything like that.
Tell
Ain't
you
nobody
what
gonna
I
beat
want.
Mariah
Will you
Carey's
give
status
me
in
what
his
I
eyes.
need?
So,
As black people in 2023, as black people in 2023, we
Stop
need to
it. We
bring
ain't
back.
black.
We need to bring back shame.
One, we ain't black.
We need to bring back
Stop calling yourself a
morals.
fucking
We
crayon.
need to bring back. See, there's this thing that you have to be lacking to have that point of view, and it's called principle and integrity.
Yeah.
Principle and integrity
We
and
have it.
character is doing the right thing
All the
regardless
time.
of, or even if it's not to your detriment.
Right.
It's being able to say to somebody, "Hey, I know you really like me, but trust me, I'm never gonna rock with you, so I'm not even gonna rock with you a little bit. I got too much integrity to string you along on the hope."
you've already told
You know-
this to me, so I'm aware. It's not going to work out between us.
Right. And she chooses to ride the
I-
train.
I-
She
I-
chooses to
you
ride
told
the
me that
train.
before. And I'm good with it.
If you don't knock it off.
I'm good with it. I'm good.
I ain't
Yeah.
scared of that.
I heard you say that,
But no, but what I'm saying though is that
what else happened
in
last year?
2023,
Let's stop
though,
talking about
we
Nick
need to
Cannon
bring
and
back
refusing to wear
shame,
condoms.
integrity, and morals and principles. Do the right thing, even if it don't benefit
I'd be
you.
glad when morals and principles come back in style. I mean, it's
I
never
don't
left,
know.
but
Mm.
if people choose to avoid it.
But
But
is that something that
regardless.
you'll realize at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, you'll get that at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Keisha asked the cat question about that ranked choice voting,
I don't give a fuck about ranked choice voting.
but
No.
but once again, for the second time in a 10-year period, we now have a mayor
y'all
in
been
Oakland.
duped.
We now have a mayor in Oakland
Who didn't
that
win
wasn't
the
the
overall
first
winner?
choice, and that's just not. Man, we
Ranked
got
choice
no,
voting.
We gotta get rid of.
Keisha, I
ranked
know you
choice
do.
voting.
I said that because I'm messing with you. You know that. Ranked choice voting. Damn, I sound like I'm from the South.
Hey.
Ranked choice voting is a pyramid. Y'all should know that. You got to be smarter than that. Y'all allowed it to happen. I don't live in Oakland. I'm from Oakland, but I don't live in Oakland, so I don't get to make decisions in Oakland. Actually, yes, I do, but I don't. But I do. My leadership corporation shit. I make a lot of decisions in Oakland, but I don't have anything to do with the mayorship, but I do with everybody else.
Well, Keisha and I are heavily into politics.
I am too.
Oh,
The DA was
Local
just at my
politics.
office for her debriefing. So yeah, I sit
And
with
they
some
sent me an invite to her inauguration, and I started to send a
You going?
picture of my buttocks.
See, that's
Is it price?
oh my God.
yeah.
And the reason why I say that is the
Well,
last
we
thing that
endorsed
we
her.
need. The last thing that we need is a
With his picture?
progressive,
Oh,
a progressive,
We talking about price. Yeah,
progressive
we
DA.
endorsed her.
Violent crime is rampant in the streets of Alameda County. So
is
many
heavy
things
everywhere.
are going on. But see, I don't live everywhere. I live in Oakland, and the last thing I need is a progressive.
Okay.
We need someone that's moderate, of course, because when it comes to crime and stuff like that, and young black men, we got to keep certain things in context. A lot of the crime and a lot of things that happen is due to lack of opportunity,
Yeah.
lack of structure. So we do have to address the structural issues when it comes to crime.
True.
But there's also a certain amount of sociopathic predators who are out operating freely through East Oakland and West Oakland, and 90% of the violent crime that takes place in our city is only perpetrated by a few individuals.
Right. But what happens
You know?
is, same thing with ranked choice voting. You got a bunch of people who sit there and say, ranked choice voting is basically this. Okay, you're my first choice, but I like you two, and I like you third.
Keisha, you wasn't going if
And-
they did invite you.
And
was
you
gonna
over
be with
there,
me.
I throw some your way too, because if my guy don't win, well, you're kind of, fuck that. That's a bamboozle situation.
Anytime
Hey, just
two
like
candidates
a
can form
popularity
coalition,
contest,
it's
the most
whack.
popular wins. There's you getting mayors elected by a participation trophy, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Society in itself, giving kids participation trophy, stupid. That's why you got a bunch of kids who don't know how to do shit. Somebody got to lose, somebody got to win, and there's nothing wrong with losing. Something wrong with accepting being a loser.
Anytime two
Somebody gotta
candidates
win.
can form a coalition to help each other get in office, that's not a good thing.
well,
not a
this
good
is an
thing.
interesting factor. The person who got the most money and the most endorsement, everything like that, did not win in this situation with the ranked choice voting.
And that says a lot.
that says a lot.
You'll get that at 3 a.m.
But you have to look back at the history of the ranked choice voting and prior to, before we instated the ranked choice voting and like that, you know what I'm saying? It was the candidate that created or was allotted the most money, and that's who became, the delegate for the city and stuff like that. So it's just like who was actually supporting those people.
Keisha, I'm gonna show you how to spell my name.
And so
You're
that's
spelling
the
it wrong.
problem with that. So I think it's going to be very interesting.
Say that again, because somebody in the comments wants to say that again.
So which part? The whole thing?
Yeah, as
Okay.
much of as you can.
So basically, the person who got elected was not the person who had the most money allocated to their campaign.
Right.
They did not have the most endorsements
Big
allocated
corporations.
to their campaign.
Exactly.
So that's a first in about a couple of mayorships.
So that's a
You
good
know what I'm
thing.
saying, like that. That's okay. So that means we may
Cultural
possibly
shift.
have someone who is of the people by the people.
I
Absolutely
can,
not.
Possibly.
Absolutely
in the grand
not.
scheme of things, I understand exactly what you're saying because
But here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? This person who's coming in, is going to have at least 8 to 10 to 12 years of digging out of a hole in Oakland. All of this stuff they're talking about, crime and everything like that, is institutionalized from previous mayors and everything like that.
Right.
So things talking about when they come into office, you know what I'm saying, and later in January and everything like that, what we're going to say is just like, oh, by June she hasn't created, something better environment. Well, she has 8 years to dig out of what has already
Actually,
happened.
she
with Oakland
doesn't,
like that.
because in June, if she doesn't,
There's no way that someone that can come out of what happened in Oakland within the pandemic and prior to what was happening before the pandemic. Like, do you remember Occupy? That was not
I hear you,
much so
but
long ago. We had
on
tanks
June
going
1st,
down Broadway Street. We are just under 10 to 12 years of that. We're going to a high and a flux and everything like that. So the fact that this person was able to win this election without getting the most money funded towards them, we're in for a different kind of thing.
come on down. Well, let me tell you this. She actually has till June. If she does make any moves that we do not like, I'm part of a committee that is fully prepared to fund and launch a recall election on June 1st. If she tries to fire the chief, if she makes any moves that we do not like, June 1st, we are going to launch a recall. We need 5,000 signatures. We are going to gather those signatures, and we will snatch her out of office. So she don't got years to dig
That's
nothing
not
out.
fair to her,
She
though.
got sick. No, fuck her. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. The purpose.
She even signed it.
No, hold on. Let me tell you something. The purpose of ranked choice voting. The purpose of ranked choice voting is to lessen. Now I'm gonna give you the real. The purpose of ranked choice voting has been to minimize African American voting power in the city of Oakland. The first time it was used, the most popular candidate amongst African Americans was Don Parada. Gene Kwan and Rebecca Kaplan them all teamed up and formed a coalition to undermine him. And he got the most popular votes on the first there, and Gene Kwan ended up being the mayor. On this election cycle, Lauren Taylor, a black man raised in East Oakland, got the most #1 votes. Once again, the progressives behind the scene formed a coalition. Hold on, let me finish. They formed a coalition, so this is 2 times in a row, 2 times that the black people in Oakland chose to be the mayor, that the so-called progressives formed a coalition and undermined them. So that's why Lauren Taylor is now not the mayor. That's why Don Peralta was not the mayor and Gene Kwan became the mayor. And that's why Chung Tao, or whatever her name is now the mayor. Ranked choice voting. But no, ranked choice voting is doing what it's supposed to do. Ranked choice voting is here to undermine African American power. So when this Asian lady and her progressive coalition start firing the black chief of police, minimizing the black people on the city council, shifting our funds and stuff like that away from Rainbow Center and stuff like that to Parks and Recs and stuff in the hills, shifting the fire department response to protect people in the hills. Ranked choice voting will once again have won because the purpose of it was put in place to minimize African American power.
I agree with you.
And as black people, if y'all can't see that,
stop calling people black.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I agree with you on that point.
Wait,
but here's the thing.
San Francisco first? Wasn't it in San Francisco first?
I don't know. Whoever came up with the peanut shell game, more power to them.
Exactly,
Here's the thing.
Keisha.
Here's the thing. All bullshit aside, when it comes to everything voting, and you know me, I sit highly on. I'm part of the Alameda County Labor Council. I'm a part of a lot of shit. So I have a lot of insight on a lot of shit. Like I said, I don't know everything, but I know half of something. Motherfuckers don't show up. So if old boy people was behind him, the voters,
they did. He won the popular vote.
Not according to the numbers.
Not according to the numbers. You got to know the game. If you don't, because you already know my lawyer ran for mayor of Oakland.
But that wasn't black people.
Rank choice? Because y'all played a fucking Monopoly game.
Lauren Taylor?
The people that supported Libby Schaaf.
Black people voted for Libby Schaaf.
Y'all,
why didn't you vote? Why wouldn't you have voted for Libby Schaaf? She went to
Skyline. To be smart, get rid of ranked choice voting.
So did Tom Hanks, but I love Tom Hanks.
Get rid of ranked choice voting.
Yes.
Go back to you win or you lose.
Yes.
You need a clear line, because as long as you allow people to blur the lines, you always gonna come in last place. If you don't know the game, you don't know the game.
The only people that benefit from ranked choice voting in Oakland so far have been Asians. With Gene Kwan, who was 3rd place, some kind of ended up being the winner, and now we got Chung Tao, is some kind of way now finna be the mayor. Only Asians have benefited in Oakland from ranked choice voting.
You still got people that come out and vote. If a lot of people didn't vote, that's the thing. We can't keep. I get the point what you're saying, but you gotta call shit what it is.
Well,
Keisha, now it makes sense.
Look, hey, when you look at what happened, if you want to talk about what happened with Kwan and the voting system with that and everything like that, there were a lot of interpreters that were helping people vote that were not supposed to be there with their voting time on the signature, stuff like that. You can go back to a lot of different things of why certain people got into play, allegedly, because I ain't trying to get sued, stuff like that. But let's talk about when the rank Hey,
Keisha, I don't know about that.
You got to look at
I
that.
don't have the insight on that one.
But you know, let's talk. Why don't we talk about the issues of this? It's like, why is the person that gets the most money allocated in a system that we're in basically a depression. We're in a pandemic. Why is the person that raises the most money wins the vote? Why is that with the economics?
Because historically, that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's completely out of context.
No, it's not out of context.
It
You know
is
what I'm saying?
out of
It's like,
context.
you know, we're talking about everything that happens within Oakland, everything like that. You know, when we are in a depressed society over here, it's like that. We have major issues, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, population health issues and everything like that, all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that the person who raises the most money, that means that the most money does not help the people that need the most help, the marginalized folks.
And everybody.
And what has happened when the person that raised the most money, they annihilated, you know what I'm saying, the issues with the homeless people, everything like that. We have public health crises that are almost just like, it's going to take us decades to get over, you know, the pandemic that we had with that. But that was the person that raised the most money, had the Democratic holy vote and everything like that. Whether it's Democratic or Republican, raised the most money and did nothing to help the marginalized individuals that we have, anything like that. When you talk about people who are able to vote, we have literacy issues, people who can't even go to school to learn to read, to vote. You know what I'm saying? Who was that under, you know, before that? The same person that backed your other dude named Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about issues of voting or anything like that, it's so many layers that comes to it. When by the time you get to the actual thing of voting, and then the person who raises the most money is in a different class system from the people that need the resources of the public health resources that our federal, state, and government allow for our mayors to allocate to people like that. They weren't doing it in the first place. What were they doing with it? They were pissing it off for 8, 10, 12 years. What we need is, like, you know, someone that is actually going to be for the people. Now, whether or not that's actually going to happen in the city of Oakland, we're not.
Yeah.
Oakland is a stepping ground for a lot of folks to come in here and just say like that, I survived Oakland and let me move on to something different. But we need something different here, as for the people, as for you, as for what's happening for you, and as for me. We need something different in the city of Oakland and like that.
Very true.
No.
Okay, so I'm
No.
gonna
You
go
want
to
Libby
some fun
back?
shit. Cause
No. I mean, we do need.
give a shit
I mean,
about politics right
Libby wasn't a spectacular leader, but she was steady. Now, let me tell you something about this young lady who just won it. You keep mentioning that Lauren raised the most money, right?
probably 8, maybe.
But
Either or.
here's the but though. That's noise right there. Here's the but. Here's the but.
Get us some people to come in and sit
Anytime
down
there's
and
a-
join. Make
anytime-
this shit. I'm
anytime
tired of
there's
talking
an
about
election-
politics.
Anytime there's an election in the city of Oakland, if you look and see, who cares who has most money?
The night
Whoever
winner.
the firefighters and stuff back is definitely not for the people. Anybody that the firefighters and the civil unions back is not for the firefighters.
Hey, bro.
I'm talking about the civil service unions. I'm
Oh.
talking about, anyway, put it to you like this. In the Oakland Fire Department right now, the Oakland Fire Department and the Oakland Police make up the majority of the budget. 99% of their employees have never lived in Oakland or have any connection to the city of Oakland.
Okay.
Does it have to do anything with voting, or does that have to do
Yes,
with
it does,
like that?
because that's who funded Gene Kwan. That's who funded Shang Tao. People who have a vested interest to making sure that no one who
I
has
agree with
Oakland's
you.
actual best interest be mayor.
I agree with you, but I don't want to talk about Oakland
So
mayor
even
shit
though
no
he
more.
raised the most
Person
money,
one, if
they
they
are
don't,
corrupt. And
if they don't do a
definitely
good
against
job,
that.
They're already
people-
corrupt, and we don't
people
they
in
haven't
Oakland
signed
need to
anything.
vote to remove them if they don't. But
Okay.
at the same time, you hand somebody a toilet full of shit, and you can't expect it to be mop and glow shine in 3 months. It's not gonna happen. So let's keep it a buck.
It's not a toilet full of shit. It's a toilet full of shit because of
It's
the
shit because it's
so-called
despair.
progressive
It's
and
been
the
made
firefighters
that
and
way.
the police department.
She's not being handed a brand new Cadillac with keys and rims.
Nah,
She's being handed a hoopty.
She getting handed a Pinto with no wheels.
Let's
no
keep it a
steering
buck.
wheel, no engine.
That's the thing about it.
She getting handed a Pinto. So,
So
but Oakland deserves.
Oakland, this city deserves
Oakland
greatness
deserves- yes.
because this city is great.
Oakland is phenomenal.
You got to get rid of ranked choice voting.
That's true.
You got to put people in power. Like I said, stop giving stupid people money. Stop giving stupid people attention. But as long as people don't care or just get along to get along, you're going to keep having the same shit. Same clock, same day.
can't advocate for apathy and then it won't change.
Exactly. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes.
If you don't
At
have
the end of the
literacy,
day-
then you don't have people that know how to vote. So, I mean, that starts someplace else too.
I don't give a fuck. What's next?
Oh no!
I'm tired of talking
little
politics.
people in your space.
Huh?
I know you have little people in your space.
Oh, you talking about little people?
Literate.
Oh,
Literacy.
oh, I didn't say I don't give a fuck about that. I care about people being
That's what I
smart.
just said.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't saying I don't give a fuck about what you were talking about.
Well, it sounded like
no.
a reply to it.
Oh, no, I wasn't referring to you. No.
Well, me personally, I'm a big fan of literacy.
Yeah,
In
I wasn't referring to you.
In fact, I'm such a fan
I'm
of
just trying to talk
literacy.
about Oakland politics.
Y'all should all go to Amazon and buy
Buy
my
his-
latest album. I mean, my latest book,
Bye,
which, by the way, was #1 on Amazon for 2 weeks, which means I was #1 in the world as an author in my genre. So everybody support that, and I'm also next semester up at Merritt, I'm going to be teaching elective classes on screenwriting and creative writing. So yes, I'm very much a fan of literacy because I teach people how to write.
All right,
You know what? I might want to take that course too.
I'm
just
giving
to
niggas
see,
speaking
like,
spells for
things.
New Year's. I'm
Yeah.
coming
Can I
through
do
the
it
town.
online, or do I
I'm
have
going
to
down
do it
Foothill and
online?
I'm throwing out speaking
No,
spells
you
for
can do it
everybody.
online.
You get a speaking spell. You get a speaking spell. Because the way motherfuckers be writing and texting and people
got a
can't
question.
spell, yeah, we need to get
question for
speaking
you in the
spells for everybody.
comments.
I don't want to
Are
talk
you-
about
are
none
you a
politics
progressive?
no more. We done with politics. Because
Am I a
politics
progressive?
is
Mhm.
bullshit.
I would say I'm a progressive. I believe in a lot of different things, and I want to make sure that, like, I love Oakland, you know what I'm saying? I love the Bay Area, and I want to make sure that, we have what we need for our resources for our people. And
And speaking of resources, the second part of the question was, are there any work that you do on the ground in the under-resourced communities in Oakland?
oh man, I volunteered for, thousands of hours for decades. I did take a hiatus with these last 2 years of pandemic and stuff. But I've been doing stuff
Y'all
for
want to come on
like
and give y'all
decades.
opinion on anything?
So
We gonna have some good topics.
whether you see me or know me or recognize me or know my name or don't know my name, I've been out there for a long time, and like, I'll hit the streets regularly, but things have changed a little bit and everything like that. But do I feel that I'm progressive? It's like I want what's best for the marginalized folks, because that's where I was raised, within marginalized people, and I see, what can be helped with them, and all the things and the resources that were, taken and stolen from them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm ordinary people. I'm everyday people. You know what I'm saying? I clean up well. You know what I'm saying? I have different dialects. I can speak different languages and everything like that. But everything I'm always from the Bay, and I always want to make sure everything is best for our people. Period.
Gotcha.
So on to less antagonizing topics.
Well, hey, here's a topic that doesn't antagonize people. How do you feel about all the people who tried to say that girl was lying about being shot, and I don't think the jury took a whole day. Like, I don't even think 24 hours. I think they went to the jury room, they went and got some takeout food, then they came back the next day and they was like, oh. And somebody said, well, what's y'all decision? And what I think somebody in the jury said, oh, we didn't tell y'all? Oh, guilty. Anyway, what we have for dinner tonight?
So,
Like, did anybody, like, I seen people talking about the girl was lying. Then I seen people talking about protect black men. And I'm here to tell you, as a former street kid,
dudes under 5
anytime
foot shouldn't be
anybody
dating women.
Anytime somebody does something where you literally pull out a gun, it ain't like he was on the corner of Seminary and he was with some women and a group of
niggas under
people.
5
And
foot
this is a
shouldn't
true
date.
story, by the way. And a
Fuck
group
that.
of people come and you got to pull out your gun and be like, hey, if y'all think, I don't know if y'all ever been somewhere, but you've been in front of a liquor store or something, and somebody looking like they sizing you
already
up,
got
and
short
you
man
pull your
gun
gun
breaks.
out and be like, hey, I'm letting you know off top. Whatever you think is going to happen, it's not going to go that way. But this man was in Beverly Hills and pulled out the gun And I don't think he actually meant to shoot her, but he definitely was doing too much. He shot the ground and this and that. And all I can think about is that, man, you got to be the biggest, most notorious gangster who ever lived to think you could do something like that.
Stupid is as stupid does. Forrest Gump.
He already admitted that he did it.
He's short.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he admitted that he did it. What's the problem? Is
I had people in my job arguing me
He
down
said,
that
I
they
don't
only
hear that he
persecuting
admitted.
the black men.
I just say this first and
he
foremost.
admitted it on a phone call.
Men should not be doing any harm to women.
Okay, there. Let's start with that.
Right. First off.
Let's
First and
start with
foremost, harm
that.
anybody. But here goes the thing.
Yeah, women first, because the melanated
You
woman
should
is
never
God.
pull
You
out a
already know that.
gun in a situation
If
like
you gotta
that.
pull a gun out on a woman, well, one, if you under 5 foot, she taller than you. You already, she probably gonna whoop your ass. So.
But she wasn't trying to.
I get it. I'm just being funny, but I'm not being funny. But
it's
I'm
a
being
domestic
funny.
violence issue that is
If you gotta hit a woman,
non-friendship,
you deserve to
frenemies, or
be in
whatever
the
you wanna call the
corner.
other woman.
You don't need to. I'm gonna tell you something. Just real shit. The illest thing you could do to a woman is ignore her. That's all you gotta do. Just keep it a buck. For real. Who the fuck don't know that? If you don't, you need your daddy in your life. Attention, attention, attention. You starve the plant, the roots die. If I take away my attention, you don't exist.
How do you feel though about the people who are saying
Ego is a hell of a drug.
But what about after the fact, the people who are saying that we are supposed to support him based on the fact that he's a black man? How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about that?
He shot a woman in close proximity.
But he's a black man, so we're supposed to support him and never speak against him, right?
Why would I support?
One, I'm not gonna support some dude that's
support,
harming a
you know what I'm
woman.
saying, like, you know,
I'm not
violence
gonna
against
support
women.
that. But at the same time,
It's like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't even something that was even fair. He wasn't arguing with words or anything like that. He wasn't arguing, you know, like
Sure
with
do.
things like that, just things like that. He
With a gun.
pulled out a weapon towards a woman
that's whack as fuck, and he need to get his ass
in
beat every day.
in a proximity that was smaller than what we are sitting right here.
If you can't ignore her, and
You know
then
what
she
I'm saying?
call you later, why are you not calling me back? I won. I'm sorry. Call me cold-hearted, whatever the fuck, but
Like,
I ain't gonna put my hands on you. I'm just gonna ignore the fuck out of you, and you're gonna be.
I'm sorry. What if Megan Pete had
I ain't
lost
giving
her
you my
life today?
attention, and if she
That's
love you,
fine.
she wants you. Take away your attention, and she gonna be in line. I'm sorry, and I ain't no pimp.
But there are
I
some
hate them
people
too.
that do believe in but there are some people that do believe in the concept of flat
Just
blackness.
keep it in the buck.
That if
Get
there's a
starve
black person-
attention, and if it's real, yeah, you
But,
come back
but
to
there
it.
are some people that believe that if a
Yeah.
black person is accused of something,
Society
we're
got everybody
supposed to-
fucked up.
We are supposed to stay on code. We're supposed to support that black man no matter
So is
what.
Megan
Never
Pete not
publicly
black?
speak
Megan
against
Pete
them,
not
and if
black?
we do so, we're sellouts.
Wait, is Megan Pete not black?
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly.
Megan Thee Stallion is very much
This
black.
was designed, another issue designed to
So,
divide. I'm gonna call y'all black for the misnomer, because y'all not black.
What?
Y'all not black. You know that, right?
What?
You didn't know that?
Are we talking about the 3 o'clock in the morning? What's happening with
I'm
this?
telling you, I'm giving you some ism.
Alright.
This is designed, another thing to divide the black man and the black woman. Stop falling for the fucking banana in the tailpipe. He wrong. Fuck him. Sorry.
I mean, but there is a spirit amongst some of us.
The
that
machine
when
played
a
the
person
game.
Does something wrong, we're supposed to support him. I have a little cousin
Remember.
who's graduating, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna come to the graduation." They acted shocked, like, "You really gonna come?" And I'm like, "I come to court dates and I come to funerals, so why wouldn't I come to a graduation?"
Exactly.
But are you coming to an event where you're shooting at black women?
No.
Those are two different things. Those are very different things.
Now you're asking me, have I shot at black women?
Oh fuck! Have you shot at black women? Because if you say,
Hey, right, Keisha's not
You want
just
full
black, man.
disclosure?
Any
I
man, period.
have shot at black people before.
don't
And I
speak
did,
on none
and
of
I
that.
missed Christmases and New Year's and stuff as the result of my
We
actions.
We don't shoot at each
I'm gonna
other.
head out.
But I was a
I either
kid
shoot
then.
you or I don't. I
I
don't
was a
shoot
kid
at you.
then.
Shoot
I was
at
a
me
kid.
and you
I was
can miss.
I was a misguided youth.
So when I was going to the side shows when I was like, 17, 18, 19, everything like that, you was the guy that was shooting at everybody?
If it was 1989, yes, that was me. Sorry.
Dumb
Fuck,
people do
bro.
dumb
But
shit.
I paid,
This is why Bips
trust
don't
me
wanna
when I
hear.
tell you, I
Bips don't
paid the
wanna
price
hear.
for that.
Niggas better stop wasting bullets.
My grandmother
When-
died while I was gone, and when I asked for a pass to go to the service, they said it was going to be $6,000 to have
Yeah.
guards escort me.
Yeah.
And then when my
They gotta
family
bring
came
you-
up with the $6,000, they laughed and said, "We didn't think y'all was going to do it." But there's nowhere in the world we letting him out 1 minute before he's supposed to. And when we do let him out,
Shit
he'll
ain't
be
right
back.
behind
But
you.
guess what?
It happens.
It's been 30 years, and I ain't been back.
Well, put it this way. Thank goodness you weren't shooting at Megan Thee Stallion and over some domestic issue and everything like that. And this guy is where he's supposed to be. He ain't getting out no time soon. And let's help this.
But the difference
let's help-
between me and him is that I was a
let's help
teenager and
her.
he's 30 years old.
Let's support Megan P, who just graduated like within the last year with her bachelor's degree and everything.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
salute.
Let's support her. You know,
The
what I'm saying?
melanated woman is God. I've
You know what I'm
said that.
saying?
That's
She's awesome.
first
Said
and
she was
foremost.
gonna, help, what was it, nursing homes, everything like that. She was
that's
gonna
cool.
do all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Let's support her in her time of need because
We'll
now all
support
of
her,
her.
but I'm gonna need her to make some regular
But no,
albums
my
with
point
not
was,
everything
though,
just
that
being
there
about
is-
how
that there
the
is
ass
people who
shake and
feels
how
like
good
if
she
we
make a
don't
dude
support-
do this and that.
If we don't support
I need real bars.
black men
I mean,
even
keep
in
it
their
a buck.
wrongdoing,
What is
we're
she doing
not
differently
right.
that other black men haven't done for 30,
get
40,
it.
50 years?
I'm just
You know what
saying, that's not the only
Things
lane.
like that.
I get it.
Let her make her money
Like
like
this.
these other dudes, like $800 and they made their money.
I-
Everything
we-
like that. Let her make her money and do what she needs to do. She has done great things with her black women's health.
I'm
and
I'm
everything
saluting
like
her
that.
all day, but at the same time, I need something more.
She will.
We gotta
Let
stop.
her give
We
her-
gotta stop thinking that's the only way to go. All women rap about is how good the sex is, and not this and that, and ain't nothing else. I need some real shit, some real bars, some intellectual shit, some conscious shit, some whatever shit.
But none
I don't
of
care
that-
if you rap about
but that
Sesame
doesn't-
Street
but that doesn't
and
sell.
ABC Electric Company.
It's a business.
but-
That doesn't
but-
sell.
Stop
But wait a
putting that
second.
shit out first.
It doesn't
But-
sell.
but
We
let
have
her
to
make her money and let her
participate.
It'll sell
Let
if
her
people
get
start
over
buying
this
it.
court case. Let her get over this court
I get it,
case.
sex sells. Don't get me wrong, because when crack don't sell,
Wait.
we know what will.
But let her get over this court case. Let her have some time
Oh,
to,
for
you know what I'm
sure.
saying, to
I
rest
hate
and recuperate and get over this
Nah,
court
I
case and
hate
everything
it.
like that, and then come back with something new with what she has, everything like that. But
Oh,
just
yeah.
let the woman breathe for a minute.
Oh,
like
for
you know what
sure.
I'm saying?
Her
She
next
can have
album
it.
gonna sell like a motherfucker.
As
It
an
sure
artist, though,
will.
you
As
have
long as
to
it
do-
has
as
some
an
other
artist,
shit.
you have to do what you
Because
have
everybody
to do.
gonna expect some truth reference, which I mean she need to heal. I get it because
Yes. Let
because
black
here's the
women
thing,
heal. Can I
America.
wait, pause,
Go ahead,
pause.
go ahead, sis. You got it.
Pause. Can you agree to let black women heal?
I'm with that.
Let
All
they've
the
been
time.
through traumatized and
That's a
like
part
that.
of ignoring.
Let-
Because if I talk to him
I
when
didn't
she's
say
supposed
ignore.
to heal,
I
no,
didn't say ignore. I
I'm
didn't
joking
say
when I
ignore.
say that.
I didn't say ignore. I said allow black
got to.
women to heal from trauma.
Yes,
Allow black
You're
women to heal from
absolutely
trauma.
right.
Yes, but that's a systemic wound. What about the actual acute wound that's bleeding right now? As in, she's gonna need to sell records.
She don't need to sell records right now. She's
Don't.
good.
She can do a book tour. She can do.
There's record
She can
companies.
do. It's a
organizations
bunch of things she
that
could do.
They're going to want her to sell
But
records.
that's the machine.
Yeah, she's not even 30.
Bushwick
Let
Bill
the
back in
women
the
heal.
days on the Ghetto Boys album cover,
When he was
Bushwick
shot,
Bill
yeah.
shot himself in the eye.
Why'd
And
you
they
shoot me
literally
in the
took a
eye?
picture of him while
I'd
he
shot
was
you
on
in
the
the
gurney
body.
and used that as the album cover while this man was sitting here with a bullet inches away from his eyes. That's the nature of the entertainment beast.
Right.
Oh, you almost died from this? But
We
you
gonna
didn't
profit-
die.
You can profit
So
off
we
of it.
need you get. What did I turn to tell Tina? Don't you die on me.
Oh.
If you die on me, I'm gonna kill you because we got a show right
Why would we
now.
quote him? Why
But
would we quote
if
him?
you die on me, I'll kill you.
Why would we quote him? And again,
But that's
where
the
did
problem with.
And where did she
With
have to
niggas.
go to release her trauma?
They
She left the
uphold-
country and she renounced her citizenship. She left the country and everything like that because people did not believe the trauma that she was going through was real. They did not believe that the abuse was real. That it was like systemic for over 20 years of what she went through. And then 5 years of fucking poverty in Hollywood and everything like that. Let black women heal. They might want to stay U.S. citizens, or they may not fucking not. But what the fuck ever, let them heal.
But do any of us in the entertainment business get a chance to eat?
No, because I need you niggas like
No,
cattle.
because
I heard
your
y'all
suicidal
do your
death
show,
pays more.
go sign some autographs,
Right.
and go sit in the corner. And the problem is, niggas sign up for that shit.
At the beginning
No one signs up for being shot at an enclosed
I ain't talking about that. I'm
At the-
talking
No
about.
one signs up for
At the
that.
The
beginning of
machine-
2022, I decided that I was going to do more positive thing. I got on this New Year's resolution. I'm going to do more positive things.
Mhm.
So I wrote this script, 75-page script about a bunch of black women that was in college, empowered. And I was going to have all the sisters come.
Did you talk to black women before you wrote the script?
I didn't need to. I've been raised by black women my whole life.
He's the expert.
I'm actually quite familiar with black women.
But you're not a
But
black woman.
yeah, but I also
But see, you didn't call me about this.
But I'm
so,
also
you
a
know,
professional script writer, so I also know what
Nobody in the
people want.
Bible carried one either.
So I wrote this positive, uplifting script.
Okay.
and I'm shopping it around.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even get them beat.
Oh yeah, I know about this.
Finally,
I know this
one
story.
company calls me up and says, "Hey man, we want to make that movie with you." And I'm like, "Cool." And now I can put something out that me and my daughters can go watch together, and they'll be so proud of me for these positive imagery.
Right.
And so now we're on the conference call, and they say, and they basically might as well say, "We like everything about your script."
Except
We
the
need
script.
some more tits and ass.
Basically,
They
and
said
dude,
it.
and
They
dude,
did.
and can you imagine? There was a dude of the Jewish persuasion,
Oh, them. Oh,
like Dave Chappelle said, nothing good comes out of it when you say
Hey, I was
nothing
at his last show.
and
I
the
was
Jews.
there.
But I would say
Right,
this
everything.
gentleman was of the Jewish perception, and he says, you know, you can't pronounce my name for nothing, right? And finally, you know, so I'm like, okay, I'm thinking we get ready to negotiate about the money.
Yeah.
And me, I have very poor spending habits, so I'm always in need of a check. So I'm over there. I've literally got my routing number wrote down so that they can wire me some funds immediately, and we can get on that. Well, actually, if they'd have wired me the funds, I was headed to the mall. But
See, where is this going?
this is where it's going. So I got this powerful college women making moves in the world, this script, and I'm going to do all these great things. And dude said, Pharaoh. I said, ask this Pharaoh. Right, Pharaoh. Pharaoh, what I'm going to need you to do, white Jewish dude voice. He said, what I'm going to need you to do in order for us to make this film with you is you're going to need to make it a little more ratchet.
I need more tits and ass if you want
And
my
I said
cash.
I said to the man, how can I make a script about 4 college friends, these women as AKAs and Deltas? How can I make this
You don't,
more
you don't
ratchet?
speak. You don't portray the divine nine in no type of.
That's
And
way.
this dude told me, dude said, well, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but just make it more ratchet, make it a little more urban, and well, this was their code word
Make it
for
more,
ghetto.
make it more
And then
nigga-ish.
you know, so send it through a rewrite.
I need some ass.
Send it
and
back
titty.
over to us, and then we're gonna cut you a check. And then he said the number, and it was a bigger number than I've ever had for a script. And I was like, "Ooh, I need that. Hell, I won't even have to work for the rest of the year off that."
Wait.
But-
Wait. Let me pull this closely. It's like, what was the number? What was the number that you was going to agree to?
Like,
make it
sell
ratchet?
your soul just a
I
little
didn't
bit.
make it ratchet. I didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit.
I didn't do it.
Just a little
I
bit.
didn't.
Okay.
I didn't
Just
do
make
it.
it moist.
But
Just make it
the
humid.
thing is that
Just a little
you're
bit.
saying we gotta let black women heal, but they don't let none of us heal in this industry because I was so proud of this work. And
What's up, Justin?
And because everything, all my scripts I've ever wrote, except for my first one, Basketball 316, have always been kind of hood, because that's where we get our money from. But on this particular one, I was proud of myself.
Thunders who just want some black porn. It sounds like you just want some black women porn.
Well, trauma
It's just like
porn,
that. It's
trauma
just-
porn is
that's
trauma porn. Basically, is what they call it. That's what they want. But here it is. I made this decision to go in a different direction. Nobody bought the script. The script is actually sitting there in my office right
Yeah.
there. And the thing is that
Make it yourself.
as an artist, none of us get a chance to heal because the industry, the machine, is like, okay, nigga, we don't care what you went through. We don't care what you went on in your life. We gotta go. And now I'm sitting here on December 30th. A whole year's passed by, and I had faith that somebody was gonna say,
whole
you
ninth
know
day
what,
of
we're
winter."
gonna make that uplifting movie with you. And now here we are. We're 2 days away from 2023, and nobody. And I'm tempted because I know their offices are gonna be closed on Monday. Because that's the day. But I'm tempted on Tuesday to call them and say, hey man, remember that script I had that y'all liked?
Nah, bro.
I went ahead on and made it a little more
Hold your
ratchet.
nuts.
What can we work out?
Nah.
I said allow black women to heal.
Here's the thing. The problem
But
is.
here's the
said that very
thing.
specifically
But there's
about
going to be
black
some
women
black
to heal.
women that are going to be in this movie who've been through some things in life. And I'm going to tell them, hey, sister, I don't care what you've been through. We got to make this movie. So you got to buck up and come on.
So,
So shake some ass and pretend like it's Freaknik of 1996 again.
Exactly.
What the
Fuck.
fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Jugs
No.
for Jesus?
That's what the
Hell
gatekeepers.
no.
That's what the gatekeepers
Some
are
bullshit.
giving us.
You know what?
That's what the gatekeepers are giving us.
No, this is some bullshit. So keep it a buck. Don't sell your soul, because the problem is we gravitate to the bullshit. Same reason why when it comes to female rappers, all they talk about is the same things, because everybody circulates that shit. When you get the the group that be consistent and start being like, nah, we don't need that, we want this, and more people start catching on and want to get on and start becoming woke. We ain't gonna call it woke.
What's the
Woke is
economic?
a fake
Like,
term.
what's this new
But,
girl they got out here called Glorilla, right? And everybody calling her so ratchet and this and that, and people. I've even seen people on Twitter say she's an embarrassment to black women, this and that, right? But I saw an interview with her. But I saw an interview with her where she was like, I was literally sleeping on my friend's couch. And I was bouncing from couch to couch. I had no family support. I was going family this and that. And now she's on private jets. How can you tell her, don't be ratchet and don't sell out when she had a future in Memphis of making $7 an hour? She was working at the Rally's Burgers, making $7 an hour and sleeping on couches.
What was ratchet about her? Wasn't her name Gloria?
You see that FNF song she had in her and her pockets was there, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're an embarrassment to black."
Yeah.
But there's people that said they was an embarrassment to black women.
if that's the only thing,
Well, look at Lil Kim.
that's
Like,
hold on. If that's
we beyond like that, you know, it's just like why
She
is
was
it?
talking that stuff.
the problem is, that's the only way people are progressed that we get to see, and that's the only thing that's publicized heavily is
For real?
this type of behavior.
For real?
Because the machine only gives you so many. Our leaders aren't homegrown anymore. Everybody that's in a leader position, in most people that are in leadership positions, in the I'm gonna call y'all black for this conversation, are picked and chosen. There's very few homegrown
She lived a good life.
black celebrities who are really trying to do some shit.
Like that, right?
But one of the things though is that as a black creative, the way this thing is set up, no one cares about your tears, no one cares about your trauma, and no one cares about your principles or
And boys
morals.
not
The only
supposed to
thing
cry.
is that you're gonna give us this thing.
No, I think
Well,
they do care
save
about
your
your
money.
trauma because I do remember a comedian
Okay.
way back in the
No.
late 60s, early 70s by the name of Richard Pryor, who had
Shout out
nothing
to
but
my fraternity brother.
tons of motherfucking
Mr. Pryor.
and nothing but trauma.
He's a Sagittarius too.
Nothing but
Sag life.
trauma on his end. You know what I'm saying? He started out trying to be an actor, a singer, and everything like
Yep.
that. The singing, and he had a wonderful voice. If you look back on it like that, but that's not what they wanted. They didn't want someone who could sing calypso. He didn't want someone to sing jazz. They didn't want to sing, Broadway and anything like that. They didn't want this young, skinny dude who, was just
Talent.
like talent.
He is
had
the
talent.
GOAT.
But it wasn't the talent they wanted. They wanted him raw. They wanted him with the depiction of what happens in his trauma and everything like that life. And what did that lead to him? You know what I'm saying? We have some phenomenal, quote unquote, comedian skits and everything like that. But what happened to this young man and everything like that? That he had to bring his trauma and everything like that. You talk about it's like a justice hate between black men and black women. And black men can talk about, all this stuff and everything like that. They can talk about all their trauma and everything like that. We can talk about how he had the whole skit about, when black men get choked out by the police and everything like that, and they wait till you get 3 seconds before fucking death. And I think that was on a record.
Yeah.
The
You know what I'm
riots
saying?
back
That was
in
on a
the,
record. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say which record because I don't want to misquote. You know what I'm saying? But you get 3 seconds before death in Los Angeles County. You know what I'm saying? Just like the DTU in the southern south and up northeast. You know what I'm saying? Like that before fucking death. Before they release you and ask you what your name is because you fit the description. We talk about trauma so much, everything like that. When and we talk about his issues with his sexual habits, everything like that.
Yeah, because
No one wants to talk about that other stuff, anything like that. You can say everything the fuck you
Oh, I know
want,
some
putting you can put cocaine on your fucking dick and ruin a whole nother woman's fucking life. And we know which woman, if black woman, we know we're talking about.
Yeah.
He ruined her life
That's real.
of having too much cocaine on her fucking cervix and everything like that. We can talk about all those things, everything like that, and it's just like, yeah, that's all good, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But when other black women want to talk about and say, and this is when you can call me progressive, just like I want ownership of me stating what the fuck is happening to me and how I'm going to do it. then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you're just not from church, and I just can't deal with this, everything like
I
that.
don't
You
fuck with
ain't
church people.
you ain't passed no money to the,
Keep it a buck.
like that, like
Yeah,
that.
seems
You know
wrong.
what I'm saying? You can't do this like that.
I promise you that.
There's
Keep it a buck.
issues of black
Church, what
trauma.
you mean?
Black trauma sells. Black
Why-
trauma
why
sells.
try to sip the white
From a
man's
person
lies?
From who's
Y'all-
once poor, black
you already
trauma
know
Everything
sells.
that's in the
I feel
Bible,
that
you living
You know what I'm
through.
saying?
That bullshit. Ain't
What do you want
nobody.
these young folks to do? What do you
Oh,
want? What do you
wait,
want
keep
them to
waiting
do?
on the Sky Daddy. Y'all already know. Keep waiting on the Sky Daddy y'all want. Y'all keep waiting on Caesar Borgia
But this
and
my
all
brother,
that.
how you doing?
Y'all
man?
keep waiting on Caesar Borgia and keep selling,
Same
being
here.
sold that dream on some bullshit. Just keep it
How?
a buck.
Let's keep it a buck. Well, let's
The dream that the
support.
Pilgrims gave y'all
Alright.
keep swallowing it. I'm cool.
So you don't go to the grocery
Look,
store and buy some food?
I don't know Gorilla
Yeah, I do.
personally, anything
Okay,
like that.
then.
You know what
You
I'm
bought a
saying? But
turkey?
her song and everything
Nope.
like that, I love throughout the song, and I love throughout the summer and the anthem. It really
I don't celebrate
supports
the annihilation of my ancestors.
Well, you
But-
definitely, I mean,
I
you
don't buy
know,
Christmas
But-
presents.
if you are
either.
On
going,
that-
if you have
I
an
ain't
artist,
like
if
that.
you
You
are
ain't
an artist, you
exactly,
are
so
going
you
to have
already
to
know.
But
tap
I
into
fucking
that
love
trauma.
Keisha Cole too. You know what I'm saying?
So-
You know what I'm saying? Back when she was coming through, like it's just like, you know, when you have something that you feel from your chest, say it from your chest. I don't care if you're man or woman, but if you
Yeah.
say it from your chest, I'm gonna
Exactly.
feel it.
I believe
Say it
in
You know
from
what I'm
your
saying?
chest.
And that's what we're going for at this point in time. We are in a serious, dire issue with our pandemics and all of its other components. Like, we need people to say it from their chest, and we're moving from that point.
But some people can't
I got a
handle
question for y'all.
criticism.
We
You know what I'm
going
saying?
into the
Because
year
if you're too
that
honest with somebody, then they go take it the wrong way.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Y'all love
At
to
the
hear
end of
other
the day,
decisions.
they
But
know what I
like
mean.
right now, what's keeping us surviving? What is keeping us surviving right
Me and
now?
my kids,
Okay.
here we go.
And you
I
say
got a
that
question
from
for
what?
y'all.
my chest.
You saying that from your
Yes.
chest?
My chest.
I got a question for y'all. We coming up at the end of what y'all been taught is 2022, going into 2023. Another lie. But I digress. What are you leaving behind? Because everybody do that New Year, New Me shit.
Nah.
Most people. There are no absolutes. I'm just saying. So, what do y'all look forward to in 2023? Because we're gonna wrap this shit up so we can enjoy this party.
Hey.
I've made a commitment that I'm actually going to 100% embrace the full ratchetry and niggerificness and ignorance at its finest. In fact, my new logo, and all jokes aside, my new logo is that, okay, y'all got Tyler Perry over there. I am the Donald Goins of filmmaking.
There you go.
And I'm literally going to mine the so-called gutter for every dime that it's got.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I'm
you
going
do.
to turn around
He's gonna be the new
and
China.
I'm going to fund
No, he's honest.
programs for kids and everything. So I'm going to take all those ill-gotten gains and I'm going to do good things with them to balance out my moral karma. But
Gotta
I,
feed
but
both
I,
boys in the
but
hood,
I am no
but a
longer
new
going,
version
but
of it.
I am no longer going to try to do the right things or try to do uplifting entertainment and this and that.
Please
and
know
make
he's bullshitting.
50,000 on the film. When
Yeah,
if
we ain't
I
spending
do
that much
some,
money.
if I do some absolute nigga shit, I'm gonna make 2 million. So
Bro, we
that's
shooting
awesome.
movies with VHS. We going back old school.
You know,
I got
so-
fucking beta in the
So
garage.
that's
we
what I'm
listen
gonna
to
do in
Richard Pryor,
2023. I'm
records?
going to all the
Was
things
little-
I've been running from, all the things I've been in denial, all the things I want to be a good representation of the race. I want
Hey,
to be an
and fuck
upright
you.
individual.
Righteous.
No, I'm finna go get. I'm finna go get rich.
I'll read Ant's
No, might as
comment.
well.
Because I done
stupid.
cried in a Buick, so now I'm gonna cry in a Bentley.
Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with
That's all you
that.
guys
Sis
are
Cass,
doing?
what do you look forward
Bentley
to?
parked in front of my mansion.
We heard your monologue. What you look forward to in 2023? What you doing?
Hey, I'm on some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not really new, but it's just like I'm appreciating life in a major way. I got a brand new set on it, and I gotta say shout out to black men. I gotta shout out to black women.
Inventory.
What about single fathers?
And I just want to say that, you know what I'm saying, we all need time to heal from our traumas. You know what I'm saying? And that healing is a part of we need rest. You know what I'm saying? We've been through so much, we've seen so much,
Can't take
we've
it
witnessed
down.
so much, everything like that. And you know, I'm coming out of this, I want to say not a rebirth of slick, but I just definitely want to
She
say
cool
that
like that.
Like that.
I have a lot of thank yous and a lot of gratitude for a lot of folks. And I just want to make sure that if I can't say it to them directly, then I want to do and pass the baton of what they were doing before.
Okay.
And I want to say thank you to you because after
Always,
2
man.
years, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, you allowed me to speak, you know what I'm saying, and
I
come
don't allow
back.
you to speak. You get to speak. It's not
No.
about what I allow.
No, because you
I
could've
get it.
said,
I know what you're
"Shawty,
saying."
you can't come up here.
I don't.
You
You,
know what
already
I'm
know.
saying?
I ain't with that. I
but-
love everybody except for
but-
people that don't love me.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But I just
Other than
want
that, we good.
it sounds cliche, but I say peace and love to folks because we definitely need that. We need peace and we need love and we need healing and we need times to assess of where we want to go and where we want to be. And that's just for every person from every age group, you know what I'm saying? Reassess of where you need to be and where you want, everything like that. And just, you know, people say you want to enjoy life and everything like that, but our life should not continuously be about motherfucking struggle and motherfucking survival and motherfucking pain and motherfucking all this stuff like that. And we from Oakland and everything like that. But God damn, we need something different.
That's right.
And, you know, whether you meditate that on 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm
3 in the
saying?
morning.
Whatever you need, you know what I'm saying? But just love your life, love your vessel, protect your vessel, and protect people who surround your vessel.
Okay.
And you know, like I'm gonna say this, it's like that regardless of how much you talk and you know everything like that, these are some of the most nurturing men that I have been around in a very long time.
Of course.
You know, including Brother Rock and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? These are some
I'm a
serious nurturing men, and I want to say if you don't have some of those in your life, get you some.
Get you and me.
Get you some, and the healing comes so much faster with that. And I want to say thank you. We done had some talks, so thank you. But thank you.
You can't
to
get you and
everyone.
me in your life because I'm closed.
You already broke up with me. I
Closed
already got it.
minded.
You already broke up with me.
I'm closed-minded, but I'm open-hearted.
But
That's it.
brother,
Yes, it's all good.
we also
Okay.
good. So just like stay in your life. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Exactly. So, as always, we got some shit coming up for next year. 2023, we're gonna expand, do a lot of shit, a lot of things. Pearl got a couple of.
I'm making a movie.
Yeah,
It's a
new
movie
movie
and a
coming,
book
I think.
called The Black
No.
Superhero, and it's the most ghetto sci-fi movie you're ever going to see. Think about if Dolomite had superpowers, and just go from there.
So,
And we start filming January 8th.
January 8th. Yeah, we filming
Next
new
weekend.
shit. So we got movies coming. Of course, we're gonna be here every Friday as always.
And the book is dropping for Black History Month, The Black Superhero, my new novel.
Black History Month. Never mind.
It's a good
Y'all
market.
gonna have me on one. Y'all stop calling yourself black. You're not fucking black. Anyway, so
When I'm #1 in Black fiction on
a
Amazon,
category that somebody gave you.
Hey,
You'll get that at 3 in the morning.
I don't care what they call it.
Call
when
it
I hit
you.
when I hit #1,
Hey.
which I will, because my last
Just make
book
sure
hit
they spell
#1.
your name right on the
When
check.
I hit #1 on Amazon, which means that I'm also will be, because if you're the fuck the New York Times bestseller list. If you're #1 on Amazon, then that literally means you're #1 in the world.
Can I finish my montage?
I want my glasses
can go?
back. You,
I got
you
you.
look like they had glasses. I want my
Okay,
glasses.
so 2023,
World champion.
we got more things coming. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, it's been a crazy year. Tomorrow is the 10th day of winter. January 1st is the 11th day of winter. New Year happens in spring.
Thank you.
You can't have nothing in the middle of death. You'll get that at 3 in the morning. But as usual, now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Hey, y'all have a good night, man.